In 1893, a footballer was sold for £100. The buyer thought it was too much. Today, that same amount would not even cover a footballer's agent fees for one phone call. Because somewhere between 1893 and now, football lost its mind with money, and nobody has ever properly explained why, until now. Let me take you back to 2017. Barcelona had a problem. Their best player Neymar walked into the manager's office and said he wanted to leave. PSG were willing to pay whatever it took, so Barcelona named their price €222 million. They thought PSG would say no, but PSG said yes. And in that single moment, football transfers were never the same again, because every club in the world looked at that number and thought, if Neymar is worth €222 million, what is our players worth? Suddenly, €15 million signing became €80 million. 80 million became €120 million, and €120 million became the new normal. The global transfer market went from €5.9 billion in 2015 to €12.24 billion in 2023. It's more than doubled in 8 years, all because one Brazilian said he wanted to leave Barcelona. But here is what most people do not understand. When you see £100 million transfer, that is not what the club actually pays. That number is just the starting point. On top of that comes the agent fees, usually between 5 and 10% of the deal. So a £100 million signing costs the club £105 to £110 million before the player even kicks a ball. Then come the wages. A player who costs £100 million does not earn £50,000 a week. He earns £200,000 to £300,000, sometimes more. Over a 5-year contract, that is another £75 million in wages alone. So that £100 million signing actually cost the club closer to £200 million in total. And here is the part that will make your head hot. Clubs do not even pay the transfer fee all at once. They spread it across the length of the contract, a process called amortization. Liverpool paid £100 million for Florian Wirtz in 2025, but in their accounts, they only recorded £21 million of that cost in the first year. The rest was spread across 5 years. This is how clubs afford players that should be impossible to buy. They are not paying £100 million. They are paying £20 million per year for 5 years, and as long as the player performs, it is manageable. The problem comes when it does not, because sometimes the most expensive signings become the biggest disaster. Philippe Coutinho, Liverpool sold him to Barcelona for €118 million in 2018. Barcelona were thrilled. 3 years later, Coutinho was on loan at Aston Villa. The £142 million they spent is widely called one of the worst deals in football history. The transfer fee sat on Barcelona's book for years, costing them millions annually for a player no longer at the club. Eden Hazard, £120 million to Real Madrid in 2019. Injuries destroyed his time in Spain. He retired in 2023, having never shown what he was capable of at Madrid. £120 million gone. This is the real risk of modern football transfers. The fee is not just what you pay on the day. It is what you keep paying every year, whether the player delivers or not. So why does one footballer cost more than an entire town? Because football is no longer just a sport. It is a global entertainment business worth billions. And in that business, the best players are not employees. They are assets. Assets that generate revenue, sell shirts, fill stadiums, win trophies. And when an asset can do all that, clubs will pay whatever it takes to own it. The next time you see a £100 million transfer and think it is crazy, remember, the club is not just buying a footballer. They are buying an asset who they believe will make them more than £100 million back. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. And that gap between success and failure is where the most interesting stories in football finance live. Subscribe and let me know in the comments, which transfer do you think was the worst value for money in football history? I will see you in the next one.